I know it's traditional, but I think the Lakers need to play some zone until they figure out. Play some zone.
Well, when you play zone, that's a throwing up the white flag, red flag, blue flag.
The Los Angeles Lakers have hit a rough patch, dropping their third straight game in a 119-96 loss to the Houston Rockets. It marks the first three-game skid of their season, and the mood around the team is shifting fast. The bigger conversation, though, centers on LeBron James. He remains the face of the franchise, but there's a growing sense that his chapter in Los Angeles may be nearing its final pages. Greatness has a timeline, even for legends, and ignoring the signs doesn't make them disappear. The warning signals have been there all season. Defensive breakdowns, slow rotations, a roster that looks impressive on paper but struggles when the pace increases. After the latest defeat, Charles Barkley spoke bluntly. He criticized the Lakers' defense, saying they simply can't guard anyone. He also pointed out a harsh reality. In today's NBA, perimeter speed and athleticism are non-negotiable. Without it, competing at the highest level becomes nearly impossible as today's NBA continues to revolve around speed, versatility, and switchable defenders. The Los Angeles Lakers are facing a tough reality. Can this roster truly keep pace, or is a major reset inevitable? The modern game demands perimeter players who can move, rotate, and guard multiple positions. Without that athletic edge, you're exposed. And right now, the Lakers are getting exposed. Against the Houston Rockets, the issues were impossible to ignore. Transition defense was nearly non-existent. On several possessions, Houston pushed the ball up the floor on easy 3-on-2 breaks with little resistance. There was no urgency to stop the ball, no defensive balance, no communication. It looked less like a mid-season NBA battle and more like a practice drill gone wrong. For a franchise that constantly from dominant, it wasn't a performance that shifted momentum or demanded control. For a player expected to set the standard every night, it felt quiet, too quiet for a team searching for direction. It's not just about the box score. It's about tempo, urgency, and the effort between possessions. When defenders jog back while opponents sprint for easy transition buckets, that reflects leadership at the top. And with LeBron James, the standard has always been intensity. If the superstar isn't dictating energy on both ends, the rest of the roster follows that tone. Right now, the mood around the Los Angeles Lakers feels heavy. Less urgency, more frustration. One former player who has known LeBron since their AAU days and shared stages like the McDonald's All-American game didn't sugarcoat it. He said LeBron's body language against the Houston Rockets was troubling, disengaged, lingering behind the play, visibly frustrated with officials instead of locked into the next possession. His conclusion was blunt. The partnership between LeBron and the Lakers may have simply run its course. That's a harsh take, but it sparks a serious question. When you strip away the legacy highlights and focus on current performance, this looks like a team stuck in the middle. Not strong enough to chase a title, not struggling enough to reset. That middle ground, NBA purgatory, is the hardest place to escape. The early season 19-7 record created excitement, but a closer look told a different story. The point differential during that stretch was barely above water. They were surviving tight games, not overwhelming opponents. True contenders dominate. They control games from start to finish. The Lakers were edging by. The record now sits at 19-10 after 3 straight losses, and the early season excitement is fading fast. Some analysts have even labeled the hot start misleading. And when you break down the numbers, it's hard to argue. The standings told one story. The film told another. When LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves share the floor, the offense ranks 7th in the league. That's impressive on paper. But defensively, that same trio drops near the bottom, around 24th. And that's the real issue. You can score in bursts, but if you can't get stops when momentum shifts, you're constantly fighting uphill. That's been the pattern for the Los Angeles Lakers. Flashes of offense followed by defensive breakdowns. The loss to the Houston Rockets made it obvious. Alperen Sengun controlled the paint with ease, stacking a double-double without heavy resistance. Amen Thompson attacked the floor freely, getting wherever he wanted. There was little deterrence, little pushback, That's not playoff-level defense. That's a younger, faster team exposing gaps. And then comes the uncomfortable conversation. LeBron is 40 years old. He's the NBA's all-time leading scorer, a four-time champion, one of the greatest to ever play. But prime dominance and late career excellence are two different realities. Time is undefeated. The version of LeBron who could single-handedly carry a flawed roster through the postseason by sheer force doesn't show up every night anymore. That's not criticism. That's the natural evolution of a legendary career. At the same time, this isn't only about age. It's about direction. The Lakers have built their structure around maximizing LeBron's current window. The addition of LeBron James created a historic father-son moment, something meaningful beyond basketball. But from a competitive standpoint, roster symbolism instead of pure performance, it narrows flexibility. The question now isn't about banners from the past. It's about where this team is actually headed. Are the Los Angeles Lakers built to contend, or are they stretching the final pages of an era that's already fading? The roster was designed with complementary pieces around LeBron James, but those pieces come with complications. Austin Reeves is a key secondary creator, and now he's dealing with a calf strain. That's not a quick-fix injury. Calf issues linger. They affect lift, burst, rhythm, everything a scorer relies on. If he's not fully healthy, the offense tightens immediately. Then there's the defensive reinforcements like Jared Vanderbilt and Marcus Smart. On paper, adding toughness and versatility makes sense. In reality, when they're on the floor, spacing shrinks and playmaking lanes disappear. So the Lakers face a constant trade-off: improve the defense and sacrifice flow on offense, or juice the scoring and watch the defense collapse. That's not balance. That's a roster caught between identities. Now factor in the coaching situation. J.J. Redick stepped into his first NBA head coaching job with zero prior pro experience and walked straight into a locker room centered around LeBron's presence. That's a high-pressure environment for any first-year coach. When rotations stall or adjustments feel late, the question naturally follows: who's steering the ship? Is it the new coach building a system, or is LeBron's voice still shaping decisions behind the scenes? That dynamic matters. It influences accountability, strategy, and trust. One telling moment came when analysts floated the idea of the Lakers leaning on zone defense. Zone is usually a fallback, deeper structural issues. And then came the blunt assessment from analyst Tim Doyle: a 0% chance to win a title this season. Not a hot take, not trolling, just a harsh evaluation of what's on the floor right now. The Lakers aren't collapsing, but they aren't convincing anyone they're built for June either.